14%ers, and welcome to the January 2025 unboxing of the 14%ers subscription box. So, if you are not familiar with the 14%ers subscription box, it is a quarterly subscription box curated specifically for women in construction. The most recent box shipped out the first week in January. I know most of the subscribers have already received it. I also know that there are 4 of you that have not yet received it. The weather was not great when sending out this particular box, but I promise you they are on their way. I've been checking with them daily and UPS to make sure they are headed directly to your doorstep. So this is the January box, and today is the unboxing. We're going to go through the contents that were included in your January box, and I think it's time. Let's just start. Okay. So the very first item that I want to talk about is the beanie. So this beanie, man, it is a great quality. It is super thick, it is super warm, it is perfect for this time of year. And if you were a subscriber, this month you had an option of a black one or an off-white one. I am a fan of the off-white one. That is the one that I got for myself, kind of because I already have a bunch of black beanies, so I wanted the off-white one, but they are both amazing. They are super thick. They have this fold over, but what's really great about these is on the inside, there is this t-shirt type material that helps stop the wind from coming through the netting on the hat, or the knitting on the hat. So these are super warm, and as I was shoveling the 16 inches of snow that we received in Kansas City last week, I was wearing this hat and I was very happy to be wearing it. So I hope that you love this hat and that it keeps you warm as it has me for the last few months, because if I'm honest, as soon as I received mine, I started wearing it. Okay, let's dive into the second item. Second item is the construction related item, and this quarter it was work gloves for women. So every box of the 14%ers is going to have a construction related item that we always get in the man's size, the man's fit, the man's style. But in this box, it is in your fit or style. And so this month we did work gloves. And before I pull them out, I want you to know how much effort goes into making sure that the things that go in the box are things that I would actually recommend and will actually use myself. So sometimes that requires a bit of research. So in the case of the gloves, I went to 4 different hardware stores and lumber yards, and out of all those, I found 1 pair of gloves that I might even possibly recommend. And I got home and I started digging into them online, and they were discontinued. I had randomly found a single pair of women's gloves out of 4 stores, and they were discontinued. So then I start diving in online. I start buying ones online. I ended up getting 9 pair, different companies delivered to my house, and I started trying them all on. And hands down, the pair that won were the Dovetail Workware gloves. These gloves, ladies, are amazing. They are a fantastic fit. If you don't know, I was a carpenter by trade, and so gloves is something that was very much a priority for me. And most of my gloves, even the pair I think in my basement right now, have the fingertips punched out of them. So one of the things that I love about these gloves is that the fingertips are reinforced on both sides. Something else I love about these gloves, other than the fact that they actually fit my hands compared to all of the gloves that I've had in the past. Clearly right now I'm struggling to figure out which is right and which is left. But these gloves have this stretchy fabric in all the right places, including on your thumb. They also are reinforced in the right area, like right here. Like when you're using snips or picking up the skill saw or whatever tools it is that you use, this part being reinforced absolutely helps protect your hands. And then as an added bonus, what's on the palm, what you see here in this video, this is not just fabric, this is padding. These are literally padded gloves on this palm part of your hand. And think about for a second, when you pick up a 5-gallon bucket of paint or something with that kind of handle, and me personally, I can't carry it very far because it's digging into my hand in all the wrong places. So I have to set it down, maybe switch hands. These are padded. Amazing. I love these. And I also love that they are Velcro at the bottom to keep them tight around my wrist. That's something I really prefer. I don't like the gloves that are just open in the back. I always got sawdust or snow or ice and stuff in them. These tight around the bottom. Absolutely love them. So if you're not familiar with Dovetail, Dovetail is a woman-owned company that makes workwear for women. I got familiar with them. My English was bad there. I became familiar with them maybe a year and a half ago when I bought my first pair of Krista DIY pants that I wear at least once a week, and if I'm honest, probably more than that this time of year. They're absolutely amazing. But you can buy these directly from Dovetail. They're on their website. They retail for $35. So if you know a friend or you need a second pair, go on and get those. But I will tell you, ladies, most of you in my subscription box were a size medium. We literally took the last pair of mediums that they have, and they're not quite sure when they're getting them back in yet. But the other sizes, extra small, small, and large, they still have in stock. So check these out if you didn't get a box, but you want some of these gloves. Okay, so now let's talk about the book. So every 14 Percenters box comes with a growth component, either for personal growth or for career growth. And this book, I think, is both. So this book is called The Way I See It. It is by Dr. Ashley Smith. She is a psychologist here in Kansas City. What I love about this book is that, especially for the first of the year, is that it's a collection of blogs, which means every chapter is like 4 to 5 pages, which I think is perfect for in the morning when I sit down and drink my tea or eat my breakfast. I can just get through one chapter without feeling like, oh, the chapter is so long to get through. That is one of the things I love about this. The information is in bite-sized chunks, and it absolutely applies to both our personal and our work life, the suggestions and the advice that she gives. Now, every book comes with a bookmark. Now, the bookmark in this particular instance has 2 purposes. On the purpose number 1, on the back is a QR code. The QR code, if you scan that, it will take you to a recording of the author talking about the book and how it relates to women in construction. Part 2 of this bookmark for January is where I placed it. I specifically placed it on page 68 of this book because on page 68, Dr. Ashley issues a challenge in her chapter about looking at life as a scientist. And I love this whole concept, especially for women in construction, because I think many times that we are uncomfortable asking for the raise or asking for the promotion or asking to be considered for that next big project or that amazing client that we just landed. And what that particular chapter talks about is experiencing life and looking at it through the lens of a scientist. A scientist tries 1,000,002 things before they finally succeed. And so every time they fail, it doesn't feel like a personal setback. It is, okay, I've learned something. Now let's try it again. And so I love the idea of thinking about even those things, like asking for a raise, thinking about it as an experiment instead of how it might affect you, like feeling like it's personally hurting you that you didn't get it. It's just an experiment. You're going to try and you're going to ask, and if that doesn't work, okay, let me try a different way next time. Approaching life like a scientist, loved that, and that is exactly why I placed the bookmark on page 68 for you. So please check out that section. Okay, next thing are these socks. And you ladies are so funny because how many of you have said, oh my gosh, I love these socks? Ladies, these are one of the smallest components of the whole box, but I love that you love them. The femininity component of every box is really important to me because I spent the first, I can't tell you how many years of my career doing everything to blend in, to be one of the guys so that I could just fit in. I didn't want anything feminine, no feminine colors, no patterns. I just wanted to dress like the guys. And it took me a long time before I was able to really put anything feminine on. And for the first time, I remember it was a belt. I wore a multicolored belt, and still remember leaving the house thinking, oh my God, what are the guys going to say about this belt? Because I finally am wearing something feminine. But I'm glad that you love these socks. And these socks actually came in 5 different colors and patterns. So I tried to coordinate them with the color of hat that you asked for. But I hope that you love them. They are wool socks. They're really nice. But what I also want you to notice about the socks is that, for one, there is this little pin on it, this Rosie the Riveter type pin that was given to us by Juno Jones Boots. If you don't know Juno Jones Boots, it is a woman-owned boot company that started out making boots specifically for women. And there's a reason, right? And in the box, there's even a card that helps explain the differences, like why women's feet or how women's feet are different than men's feet. And I'll tell you that the first, I don't know how many years of my career, all I did was wear men's boots. They didn't have boots for women out there. So I can tell you I wear a 7.5 in men's boots, but they don't fit the same. They don't snug your feet the same. So then you get extra blisters because your feet are moving around. The idea that boots are made specifically for women's feet is amazing. So I'm also hoping that you notice this Pull Me card, because on the back, Juno Jones has supplied the 14 percenters a discount code. So I'm going to cover up the code, so if you're not a member, you can't see it. But this code is for 14% off any of the boots on her site. And I will tell you, if you go to her site now and you sign up for her emails, you only get 10%. This 14% is above and beyond what you can find elsewhere for a discount on her boots. And if you're not familiar, my favorites are the Medis. They're steel-toed and they have a zipper on the side, which, just being in the field, I know how a zipper can make boots coming on and off easier. But just recently, I learned that they're actually a necessity for pregnant women. I never thought, since I've never had kids, I never thought about how hard shoelaces could be when you're pregnant. And they have boots that have zipper on the side. And I will tell you, those Medis with this particular coupon saves you almost $40 off of that pair of boots. But they also have sneakers. They have a composite toe sneaker that is super cute as well. And with the coupon, it gets those shoes, those tennis shoes, like under $100 if I remember correctly. So make sure you use this code, and Juno Jones gave it to us for a year. Your code is good through till January something in 2026. So thank you to Juno Jones for that. Okay, now let's talk about the hot chocolate. I don't know. I felt like the whole box was warm and cozy, and what goes with warm and cozy better than hot chocolate? So in the October box, you all received a mug, whether it was this one or the Boss Lady mug, but now, and you received some tea to go with it, but this month, you've got some hot chocolate to put in it. I will tell you, ladies, don't look at the back. The sugar content is as much content as we're supposed to digest in a single day, but it is worth it. And if you're looking at this thinking, I didn't get that, that's because maybe you got this. This I did in 2 different flavors, mint chocolate and dark chocolate. And once again, I also coordinated it with the socks that you got. So hopefully all the colors went well together in your box. All right, so there's one last item that I want to show you, and there are only a few of you that received this in your box. I see Rebecca Eustace is on, and Rebecca, you did receive this in your box. It was a nail polish, and it was with a little tag that says you nailed it. There were only a few of you that received this because this was my special thank you to those of you who have shared your box either through photos or videos through social media where you have been promoting the box. I wanted to say thank you. I love that you guys are doing that and just wanted to say thank you. And so there were different colors. Everybody got a different color. But I will also tell you, I have more of these. So if you're sharing your box for the January one on social media, make sure you tag me so that I know that you're sharing it publicly. And you should see one of these in your April box. Okay, so the last thing that was in the box and was for everyone, every time you will get a note, a special note. So if this was your very first box, the note that you received was a note from the founder. Yep, that's me. But if it wasn't your first box, you then started to receive the member spotlight card. So as a member, you have an opportunity to submit an application to be the spotlight for the quarter. And this is Abby Roaba, and she is amazing. She is a pre-construction manager in Twin Cities, so Minneapolis, St. Paul. She works for a woman-owned general contracting firm, and she was the chosen member spotlight for this quarter. So if you are a member, go and nominate yourself because that's the only way it works. You don't get to nominate anyone else. You can only nominate yourself because I want you to start stepping up and showcasing who you are, what you are doing, and so that we can share it with other people. I want you to get comfortable saying, yes, I'm a badass, and I want everyone to know it. So sign up, sign your application to be a member spotlight. Okay, so I think that's it. As I start to put everything back in the box, I just want to say that I hope everybody really enjoyed the boxes. If you are a current subscriber, then your April box will deliver the first week of April. You don't have to do anything. It will already be on the way, and I am so excited about the contents that are in that box. If you are not yet a subscriber, then all you got to do is sign up for the wait list. The wait list is how you will be the first to find out when the April box goes on sale. It will go on sale around the 1st of February, and so you will be notified at that time, but you can go to 14percenters.com and join the wait list there. All right, one last thing I have to say to you before I cut this off today is about WIC Week. Women in Construction Week is the first week in March every year. It's been, 26, 27 years since NAWIC, National Association of Women in Construction, started WIC Week. It's a big event. It's a big week for women in construction. And this year, the 14 percenters are going to have a special gift that you can buy for yourself or for others. And I'm really hoping that I have my sample back to be able to show publicly next week on social media. So stay tuned for that. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and sign up, join the wait list to get notified when the April box goes on sale. Thank you for attending. Stay safe.